Good morning. It is 5 a.m., and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We're starting out with a clear sky, 71 degrees, but gosh, it's humid, 95% humidity here this morning. We'll have a full forecast and a traffic report here in just a few minutes. The Department of Justice is suing Texas after Republican Governor Greg Abbott ignored yesterday's deadline to remove razor-wrap buoys in the Rio Grande installed there to deter migrants from coming from Mexico.
The Biden administration is suing Texas to remove 1,000 feet of orange buoys in the Rio Grande. The barrier was installed earlier this month, forcing migrants to navigate deeper water and crawl through razor wire. The lawsuit claims Texas Governor Greg Abbott failed to get authorization from the Army Corps of Engineers. During an interview last night, Abbott vowed to fight the Biden administration and said the barrier in the Rio Grande has repelled hundreds of thousands of migrants.
That's ABC's Justin Finch reporting from D.C. In Israel, calls for strike action, more street protests, and even a possible refusal from thousands of military reservists to report to duty after the country's parliament voted to limit the power of the judiciary. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's judicial overhaul bill has been denounced by critics as a transparent power grab and a threat to democracy there.
There's huge anger amongst a massive section of Israeli society. Speaking to protesters, all of them feel that their future, the future of their kids, their families, is being robbed from them to some extent. And they feel that Israel is going in the wrong direction. They feel that Israel's democracy, some of the real important principles of that democracy, which existed for decades, are now under attack.
That's ABC's Tom Burridge, who's in Jerusalem, reporting. A man is shot and injured by Franklin police yesterday. The shooting took place after officers with the Franklin PD responded to the Artesa Apartments in Cool Springs for a welfare check. When they got there, a woman told him her boyfriend had a gun and was threatening suicide. Then the man came out with the gun. Officers reportedly shot him in self-defense. Officers rendered aid to the man who went to Vanderbilt Medical Center. The man's identity and condition are unknown at this time. Tennessee is about to experience back-to-back sales tax holidays. The traditional sales tax holiday on clothing, school supplies, and computers. It's set for this weekend. It begins at 12:01 a.m. this Friday and ends at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. And the 3-month sales tax holiday on groceries, that'll begin on Tuesday, August 1st. It actually begins at 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, and it will end at 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday, October 31st. So, yes, again, a 3-month sales tax on groceries. Futures, they are before the opening bell. The Dow is down 20, S&P is up 6, NASDAQ is up 66. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
News with Dan Mannis.
And go, my fellow Americans.
We talk news. Super Talk 99.7 WT.
507 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Welcome on in, my friends. It is Tuesday, July 25th. And I've got to tell you, every single day, we hear more and more stories of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and really clear indications that the president has been lying for years.
I'm going to always be honest with the American people.
Well, we all know that that is actually not true. Now, here's what's fascinating. Because when the president said...
I'm going to always be honest with the American people.
This is a guy who is known for lying. And so every day we find out more and more. It's like the daily drip of new information on the bribery and cover-up allegations that do focus on the Biden crime family and, of course, the DOJ as well, with their cover-ups and their interference in the investigation by the IRS. Now, some very big news this morning. Kevin McCarthy last night was on Sean Hannity's show. This is big news this morning. Even, believe it or not, ABC News actually reported this story, that Kevin McCarthy is now floating the word impeachment. This is last night on Sean Hannity's program.
Well, there's alleged 1023 that claims that they bribed the Bidens, okay? This was given to the FBI. When Bill Barr finally found out about it, he sent it to his office in Philadelphia. They actually said that this was very credible. The FBI kept this from the IRS individuals for them ever to see it. So not only do they claim that they were bribed, we now find information that 16 out of 17 payments from Romania were provided to the Biden shell companies while he was vice president.
While he was vice president. And so, again, it's like the daily drip. And so McCarthy, of course, you know, the House Speaker, and he speaks about that 1023. During this interview, he speaks about the 1023 and the accusations in it. And, of course, we've been all talking about this. And so McCarthy isn't saying anything that we don't already know. The Burisma executive that says that he was forced, he didn't want to, but he was forced to pay $10 million for getting that Ukrainian prosecutor fired who was investigating his company. That's number one. Number two, we also remember that that same Burisma executive has all of those text messages and recordings to prove all of this, yet Joe Biden continues to say, oh, well, he's always been honest with the American people when he said that, no, I've never spoken to my son about any of his overseas business dealings. We now, as time goes on, realize just how deep the Joe Biden lies are. Now, remember that Burisma was trying to get a foothold in America. I've explained this to you many times, friends, so I'm going to keep this brief. But they couldn't, as long as these investigations were ongoing. That's why they wanted to use Biden to use his influence to stop the investigation. I got audio coming here someplace, guys, so thank you very much. Now, here's part of the problem that the Bidens have. Part of the problem that the Bidens have is that you simply cannot escape. If you're Joe Biden, you simply cannot escape some of the things that you have said in the past. I mean, you remember out on the campaign trail when Biden actually called a voter a damn liar as the guy was asking a question about these overseas business dealings.
That's your son over there. Get a job and work for a gas company. He had no experience with gas or nothing. In order to get access, you're selling access to the president just like he does.
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that? No one has heard that?
I love that guy. The hell they haven't. I mean, listen, we all know that if you want to talk about who's a damn liar.
A damn liar, man.
Well, that's clearly Joe Biden, who is the...
a damn liar, man.
The damn liar. And that is why you've got Kevin McCarthy now. He was talking about those 17 payments from Romania. See, here's the problem. I've been talking about all the problems that the Bidens have regarding their history of... It's like their history of lying about being liars. Remember this? We had some we had some fun with this little audio bite the other day where the president, he wrapped up a press conference by saying,
I'm honest.
I'm honest. No, you're not.
I'm honest.
Nope. Clearly not. And again, every day we find out more and more information that the president is not honest. And we're going to talk about even further because finally it's interesting. Because I picked up on this whole pivot from Karine Jean-Pierre quite some time ago, where they went from Joe Biden saying, well, he's never, spoken to his son about his overseas business dealings to now he's never worked with his son Hunter on his overseas business dealings. I've been talking about this pivot for the last couple of weeks. And now some of the media are now picking up on that as well. Kevin McCarthy last night on Fox News, he was talking about the fact that they may start the impeachment proceedings. An impeachment inquiry could be coming in the next several weeks or months.
Hannity, this is rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed. Because this president has also used something we have not seen since Richard Nixon, used the weaponization of government to benefit his family and deny Congress the ability to have the oversight.
Yeah, part of what with McCarthy, the interview with Hannity and McCarthy, they also spoke about the credibility of the whistleblowers within the IRS and the FBI. And again, then he spoke, because I just played you the audio, about the possible impeachment of the president. And so part of this is, I know that we all know the talking points. We all know what is going on with the current president, former vice president, when a lot of this stuff was going on. So a lot of you folks, when we talk about this every single day, and I love every single one of you, even the haters, you say, well, what's the point in all this, Mandis? Well, this is the point. What's the point of James Comer? What's the point of Jim Jordan? House Oversight and Judiciary Committees. What's the point of all of these investigations? Nothing's going to happen. Well, it sounds like something is going to happen. Courtesy of Kevin McCarthy last night on Sean Hannity talking about a possible impeachment inquiry. This is huge. So huge, again, that even ABC News is reporting this. And remember the countries that we're talking about here. They are the worst in the world as far as corruption goes. You've got China. You've got Russia. You've got Ukraine. You've also got Romania. Now, at the time some of this was going on, Biden was in charge of our relations with all of these countries, or was influential over their future as vice president. Ukraine, China, and Romania, of course. And so we'll talk about this and a whole lot more, including more of what Kevin McCarthy had to say regarding the possible impeachment of President Joe Biden. Straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News. It is 5:15. Time to check the roads from the Paul Winkler Investment WTN Traffic Center. Thank you very much. At 5:15, partly sunny today. Slight chance of a thunderstorm, high of 91. Right now, 71 degrees at Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Well, if you want to talk about the drip of news, I got to tell you again, every single day, there seems to be another story. By the way, coming up before the news, heading into the bottom of the hour news with Jay Harper, in for Ken Weaver. Hopefully Ken will be back tomorrow. Going to tell you all the latest on what is going on with Devon Archer. I'm beginning to believe that Devon Archer is going to be the Biden's worst nightmare. Because you cannot, as I said yesterday, you cannot discredit Devon Archer. So the latest on Devon Archer and his upcoming testimony straight ahead, right before the news with Jay Harper on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But right now, going to focus on more of the really biggest news story, it's seemingly of the day, at least as far as I go, and that is Kevin McCarthy last night. And by the way, I mean, for those of us who have been following this Joe Biden story, this doesn't come as any surprise. I mean, when he said that the investigations from House Oversight and House Judiciary, these investigations, when McCarthy says they are rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, you know, I heard that. I woke up this morning to the news and I said, well, duh. I mean, thanks for finally, you know, stepping on the clue bus, Kevin McCarthy. But he had other things to say about the future of President Joe Biden and what could be next.
Well, it's interesting that the Biden family runs, if they say, a company but never had an office, and shell companies to be able to pay through. But if they really ran it for foreign countries, why didn't you get money from France, from Germany, from UK? Why does it have to be from China, Romania, in these countries that have real challenges and had problems going through? I believe we will follow this all the way to the end, and this is going to rise to an impeachment inquiry the way the Constitution tells us to do this, and we have to get the answers to these questions.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there is, when McCarthy says we have got to get the answers to these questions, clearly he is right. Karine Jean-Pierre, this was quite the pivot. Now, of course, we've been talking about the 1023. We've been talking about the investigation. We've been talking about the investigations. We've also been talking about the suspicious activity reports from the banks. We've been talking about the shell companies. We've been talking about Tony Bobulinski. We've been talking about Devon Archer. All of these things. Karine Jean-Pierre, of course, was asked about this yesterday. And again, a lot of folks are noticing the pivot of Karine Jean-Pierre. And remember, that all this time, it's been all about whether or not Joe Biden ever spoke to his son about his companies. Well, now, and his overseas business. Well, now, Karine Jean-Pierre has pivoted. Listen very closely.
Curious if the White House and the president still stand behind his comment that he's never been involved and has never even spoken to his son about his business.
So I've been asked this question a million times.
No, you know what? Here's the thing about Karine Jean-Pierre. Because she's so sanctimonious in her answer. You know, I've been asked this question a million times. Do you know why you've been asked this question a million times, Karine Jean-Pierre? It's because literally half of America knows that you, KJP, are full of frickin' ass. So you can sit here with your little exasperated voice and say, oh, you know, I've been asked this question a million times. The reason why people are asking you the question is because every single day there is more and more evidence that you are lying.
So I've been asked this question a million times. The answer is not going to change. The answer remains the same. The president was never in business with his son. I just don't have anything else to add.
So Biden was never in business with his son. But what about when Joe Biden said, I've never spoken to my son about this? Again, you'll notice the official pivot of the Biden administration.
So I've been asked this question a million times. The answer is not going to change. The answer remains the same. The president was never in business with his son. I just don't have anything else to add.
Well, we'll see what Devon Archer has to add with all of this. He'll be testifying very soon, perhaps. Right now it is 5:20. By the way, the super text line is open at 615-737-9986. If you want to watch the radio show on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and 997WTN.com, you can via Supertalk TV. And again, looking forward to your text messages this morning, 615-737-9986. Coming up right before the news with Jay Harper, Devon Archer, what is he going to be saying regarding Joe Biden and Hunter Biden? The New York Post has all of the details, and I've got those for you straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
Hi, I'm Paul Winkler. One of the things you hear me talk about frequently on my radio show that has been going for over 20 years in the Nashville market is that annuity sales are not necessarily a great thing for the end investor. Now, if you go to an investment firm, a lot of times you'll get that. The first thing that they recommend, an annuity. Banks and investment firms recommend these for one really good reason. And many times that reason isn't the best thing for you. It's commissions. It's a huge moneymaker for the investing industry. This is why I think it's so important that when you work with an investment advisor, that they not be paid on commission. It creates a huge conflict because it creates an incentive to sell you things that may not be in your best interest. If you want to learn more about our approach to investing and financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. We don't do anything on commissions. Or you can call 615-851-1950.
The DOJ suing the state of Texas, and Oregon firefighters are struggling to get a fast-burning wildfire under control. Those stories and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Jay. 526 on Nashville's Morning News. What is Devon Archer going to say in his testimony? By the way, love the folks on the Super Text line at 615-737-9986. A lot of you folks saying, and I would agree, Devon Archer, the Republicans might want to keep him safe. Would hate to see him Clintoned before he goes to speak to these committees. This is from the New York Post. The White House sharply changed his tune on Monday, saying that Joe Biden was never in business with his son. Well, again, as we all know, that also clearly is a lie. And the guy who is going to be able to identify those lies is Devon Archer. On Monday, yesterday, the New York Post revealed upcoming bombshell testimony from Hunter Biden's ex-business partner, Devon Archer, who says the first son threw his then VP dad on speakerphone during shady business deals and calls with as many as 24 times just in Devon Archer's presence. I mean, if that doesn't tell you the scope of the lies of Joe Biden, I don't know what does. So are you going to call Tony Bobulinski a liar? Are you going to call Devon Archer a liar? Are you going to call the IRS whistleblowers liars? Are you going to call the FBI agent who corroborated what the IRS whistleblowers had to say? Are you going to call them liars? In other words, there is all this mounting evidence. And I don't know how Joe Biden, I'm just going to be honest with you folks, a lot of people are making the point, I've made the point before as well, that it is abundantly clear that the Democrats may very well be a little over Joe Biden. And so part of what's going on could be the Democrats deciding, you know what, there's just too much here and we are going to cut bait while we can. We'll keep you updated on Joe Biden and all the very latest in these investigations on Super Talk 99.7 WTN all day long. Chris Hand after the news at 9, and then you have Matt Murphy at noon. Brian Wilson at 3 for your ride home. News is next at 5:29. Window Nation. Now, you know how much I love my basement studio. I spend a lot of time down there. And I love my time in my basement studio. One of the reasons why is because I've got great windows from my friends at Window Nation. Not only do they look great, but I've also noticed here in the heat of summer, it is a lot cooler down there since I put in these new windows from Window Nation. And right now, a great new deal for you through the month of July. Right now, they're going to give you 2 free windows for every 2 that you buy with no limit. And they're looking out for you with one of their best deals ever. You go with Window Nation and you put 0 money down, make 0 payments, and pay 0 interest for 2 full years. And they're going to give you 2 free windows for every 2 that you buy. Again, with no limit. I can't say it enough. You've got to call them soon, though, because this Beat the Heat deal isn't going to last long. So call them. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out at 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION, windownation.com.
Good morning. It is 5:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Clear and 70 degrees, but boy, is it humid. 95% humidity. We're going to be dealing with the heat and all of that humidity today. We've got a full forecast and another traffic report on the way. The Department of Justice suing the state of Texas after Republican Governor Greg Abbott defiantly ignored yesterday's deadline to remove razor-wrapped buoys in the Rio Grande River. They're installed there to deter illegal immigrants from coming all the way from Mexico. ABC's Maria Villarreal is on the southern border with more.
We did have a very defiant governor of Texas basically saying that he was going to keep his buoys in the Rio Grande River and that as a sovereign state that he had every right to protect the border of Texas. And that is exactly what he was going to continue to do. In fact, in the letter that he sent to President Biden, he basically said, we will see you in court President Biden.
Officials in southern Oregon say a fast-moving wildfire northeast of Klamath Falls has already destroyed 43 homes and 43 outbuildings. The Golden Fire, burning north of the city of Bonanza, started Saturday and quickly burned through more than 2,000 acres. Jennifer Case is a spokesperson for the Oregon Department of Forestry. She tells ABC TV affiliate KATU there are about 450 firefighters currently battling that blaze.
The day crew is constructing fire line and strengthening those lines. Currently, what we're lacking right now is just resources for water. So holding those lines has found to be difficult with the winds that have come in.
A man is shot and injured by Franklin police yesterday. The shooting took place after police with the Franklin PD responded to the Artesa Apartments in Cool Springs for a welfare check. When they got there, a woman told them her boyfriend had a gun. He was threatening suicide. The man then came out of the apartment with the gun, and police reportedly were forced to shoot the man in self-defense. Police later rendered aid to the man. He was transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. His identity and the condition of him are not known at this time. That is the latest news. We've got some traffic and weather for you, so hang on. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
537, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the Gang of Three Amigos. Jay Harper's in for Ken Weaver. Morning, Jay.
Good morning, sir.
Johnny B's here. Hey, Johnny, how are you, buddy?
Hey, any better, I'd have to take medicine. Good morning, Dan.
Johnny, when did you get here?
Before you.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
Hey, I think I've solved my weight loss problem, friends. So I've been basically eating nothing but beef jerky for like 2 days.
That'll work.
From this truck stop known as Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah, that big truck stop.
It's a massive truck stop there, Buc-ee's.
Did you go to the one in Sevierville at exit 407?
I did. I had like a Buc-ee's weekend. Now, by the way, folks, I'm kidding. I'm trolling you people. I know that Buc-ee's is not a truck stop. Can I just tell you that some folks have lost their sense of humor? And they've lost their mind too. I posted on Facebook because I went to Gatlinburg over the weekend and I wasn't here on Friday. So I posted on my Facebook page, big picture of me in front of the Buc-ee's in, it's not Sevierville. It's
Crossville.
In Crossville.
Right.
And I joked because I said, and I tagged Matt Murphy because he and I had a whole thing about Buc-ee's and how it's not a truck stop. I know that Buc-ee's isn't a truck stop. We had fun with it for like 2 days. And so I posted on my Facebook page that I was at this great truck stop, Buc-ee's. And people just, I mean, it was almost like, hold my unsweetened iced tea with lemon.
You got to be careful with Buc-ee's because, man, the people that are fans are true fans.
I love Buc-ee's.
They're rabid.
I think it's great.
And isn't that place crazy?
And the people that hate Buc-ee's really hate Buc-ee's because they feel like Buc-ee's, screws the truck drivers because they're not allowed. I guess their trucks are not even allowed on the property.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't. So what Buc-ee's says is that they don't have the room. They want it to be a nice experience and so forth. And I guess truckers are the opposite of that. I don't know what their specific problem with truckers would be other than I believe that they don't have the room to facilitate their big trucks. That's number one. And somebody said, I don't know if this is true because I don't know if truckers leave dirty bathrooms or not, but a few people actually laid claim to that on this specific Facebook post that I made on Friday, where I was talking about the greatness of Buc-ee's. And, again, I said it was a truck stop, mainly just to, kind of troll people a little bit, just because for whatever reason, I like to do that. Then, of course, people started picking on me because I was wearing flip-flops with jeans, which I don't know, is that some sort of listen, at least I wasn't wearing socks with my flip-flops.
Yes, thank goodness.
Come on, man.
Yeah, give him credit.
At least for that.
Yeah.
Why do people wear socks with flip-flops? Jay Harper, you're not a socks with flip-flops kind of guy,
gosh.
are you?
I'm not even a flip-flop kind of guy, to be honest. But, I see
weird.
the socks with the sandals and all that. No,
and the shorts and white legs. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I saw some guys at what was Smoky at the mountains or something, wherever we go. Wilderness at the Smokies, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's our favorite place to go. And I saw some guys wearing Speedos that probably shouldn't be wearing Speedos. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, why is that? The people that want to wear Speedos should not.
No.
It's like the people that want to get naked on the beach really shouldn't.
Best video that one of the best moments we had was Riker, and I posted it on the Facebook page, where they've got this big bucket, right? And so I had gotten out of the water. I was waterlogged. I was craving coffee. I'm tired, and I want to go back to the room. Riker begs me and begs me and begs me, little 9-year-old, by the way, Jay, in case you don't know in my life,
yes.
And my bonus kid. And so he's begging me and begging me and begging me, please, go with me under this massive bucket that drops 50,000 gallons of water right on your head. And I didn't want to do it. I was being a Danny Downer because Pappy needed a nap in his coffee, and probably not in that order. And so finally I said, if I do this, can we go back to the room? Sure. Because he wanted me to do it with him. So we get in position, and the bucket is starting to rock back and forth as it's filling with thousands of gallons of water. And Riker and I are just patiently and anticipating all of this water. And it's Riker's big moment because I'm going to do this with him. That damn kid runs away. As the water comes down, he literally runs away, and I get hit with all the water.
That was the plan, I think.
I think that was the plan. I think he and Amy hatched a little plot to get me all wet. And and the video is really funny because when he's running away, he's laughing because he knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, exactly.
Yes, I saw that video on your page there, Dan. And I mean, who was taking the video? Was that your wife?
That would be Amy.
Okay, so there indeed was a conspiracy there. It's like we're gonna film this, and when the water gets in, then you run out, and it's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, they conspired.
It was very funny, actually. And but anyway, back to Buc-ee's, which is, by the way, I know, not a truck stop.
No.
Now I will say this though, that even Buc-ee's beef jerky, nothing compared to Glenna's beef jerky.
Really?
That being said, they got, like, as everyone knows, if you've been to Buc-ee's. Now, again, I did go to the one in Crossville. Then I went to the really, really, really big one.
Yeah, it's the biggest in their chain right now.
In Sevierville.
74,000 square feet.
That's exactly right. You know, I almost bought, everybody like a little Buc-ee's keychain, but especially one for Matt Murphy, just because he has this, one man, hatred-fueled rant against Buc-ee's every time I bring it up. So, but I didn't. But I did buy, like, pounds of beef jerky. And I've just been eating that for, like, days. So while I can feel my cholesterol going up and I'll probably have a heart attack within the next 24 hours, I've lost, like, 5 pounds.
Wow.
Yes. Well, it's amazing when you do nothing but eat beef jerky for days on end.
So you'll leave a good-looking corpse.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, Johnny. Let's not get carried away.
So how's like when you guys go on these trips, what do you do with Bandit?
We leave Bandit with Uncle Tony.
Oh, okay. Uncle Tony takes care of Bandit.
And unfortunately for Uncle Tony, this is like magic, where it's like the rain and the storm gods, whenever it gets really bad, like it did on, was it Friday or Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Thursday that I left. We had those hellish storms.
Oh, man, 80-mile-an-hour winds in some areas.
And so Bandit is at Tony's house just peeing and pooping up a storm.
Panic, pooping, and peeing.
Well, this is the thing.
Uncle Tony was not happy.
I bet not. I bet Uncle Tony had some cleanup at the house.
Oh, he sure did.
And it wasn't wind damage.
No. It was pee and poop damage.
Well, this had to be written by a lefty.
Okay.
They say that they ask if you're paying enough attention to your kids and your pets. This is from Arizona State University. They surveyed 21,000, mind you, dog owners as part of the Dog Aging Project and found the presence of kids in a household was negatively connected to the dog's health. Now, this researcher, Layla Brasington, she's got to be a lefty. The more children or time that owners dedicate to their children likely leads to less time with their furry children.
Oh, my Lord.
May I tell you that little furry creature in your house is not a child?
No,
it's an animal.
Not a child. It is an animal.
Yes. It may be dependent on you all through its life, but it's an animal. The study found that more dog companions positively impacted health. They say social factors have the strongest influence, even more than financial factors and the owner's age. So if you have kids, it's likely that your dog child is not happy.
You know, I always find it interesting when people, I got to be careful here because I don't want to insult anybody, but you know, when people say, oh, I've got animals and they are my children, you people have absolutely no clue. Absolutely no clue. When you have, and I try to tell this to my daughter because my daughter's like, oh, I've got my dogs. They're like my children. And I'm like, can I tell you something, my daughter? Your dogs are nothing like how you were growing up. She was like a little hellfire.
Well, yeah, and dogs are more loyal.
Yes, dogs, you know, worst thing dogs will do is pee and poop on your carpet.
But they love you.
No matter what.
They love you unconditionally, unlike your children.
That's exactly.
I mean,
have you noticed that too? You know, when your kids are growing up, they love you a lot more when you just let them do whatever the hell it is that they want.
Once they hit the teenage years, all of a sudden that I think that's why God makes them so cute when they're little. So when they're teenagers, you won't banish them,
right, or strangle them.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin Clay, by the way, says, Dan, you just have the wrong dog. No, I don't think I have the wrong dog. I love
Bandit's
Bandit.
perfect.
Let's see here. By the way, people are chiming in. Speaking of beef jerky, chiming in. Apparently, and good Lord, the comments. Apparently, truck drivers, they say, are gross. That's what a lot of people are saying.
I don't think every truck driver is gross.
I don't think every truck driver is gross.
I think people can be gross.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we've got one here that won't flush the toilet.
Yes, who is that person?
I don't know who this person is.
You know what? You're right. I went in there. We shouldn't talk about this, but
yes, we should.
I went in there yesterday, Johnny, and there was
somebody
stuff.
did their business.
It's like, how hard is this? What do you?
I know.
What in a barn? You disgusting. And I want to know who it is.
I do too, because I'm sick of going into that bathroom and it's left. I mean, they don't flush it. Are they trying to save the planet?
It's probably the same person. Well, the problem is they're leaving more than just number one.
Oh, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
They're leaving duty.
This is the problem. We could go down the road of, there's a big article today in, I don't know where it is, but it's about how, and we see this all the time, you have some studies that show that people that work from home are more productive, other studies that show that people that work from home are less productive. I would say whatever, but what I will say is that at least at home, Brian Wilson's got it made. At least at home, you can leave the toilet flushed and nobody gives a rip, unflushed. But here it's like, come on, people.
Really?
Yes.
All the things that people who work at an office have to deal with, from people who don't flush the toilets to people who steal your half and half and your coffee accoutrements, people that steal your food from the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started. I'm not going to out anybody here, but there's several of them.
And you also have people that put the ice trays back in empty.
That's another
into
one.
the freezer.
Well, the thing that I hate is the people, and I've talked about this before, the people that desecrate a perfectly good pot of coffee when I'll start the pot and then somebody comes up and takes the carafe out and just sticks their damn cup underneath there. And that messes with the coffee pot, because now you've got a fresh pot of coffee that is weak.
People. And you blame it on truckers, folks. Come on. Not all truckers are horrible people. And,
no.
And they're not all, they don't leave the bathroom in disarray like some of our coworkers do.
Yep. Let's see here. Somebody says 7503. Have you guys heard this? By the way, 2638 responding to you, JB. Most truckers are, hands down. Guy says, did you hear Kamala Harris give a speech on the UFO briefing? She said, UFO, that's 3 letters. UFO, that's 3 letters. Well, isn't that 3 letters?
Yeah.
Unidentified flying object?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3 letters to me.
I'll have to look that up, because there's got to be some other, because I screwed that up the other day. What did I do? Murphy, I think it was either Murphy or Hand, or maybe probably both of them, threw me right under the bus.
Hand.
Was it Hand? And I forget what it was. I forget what it was that I said, but I said, I got 3 words for you. And it was like 4.
Yeah. I forget what the 4 words were. By the way, the big pickleball challenge, I don't know whose pickleball mallet or whatever it is, your paddle.
Yeah.
It was not menacing looking. You want a menacing looking paddle if you're going to go into battle.
Yes.
This had a smiling woman's face on it, looked like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was an illustration, but
okay.
I said, man, this is not intimidating.
Well,
it might have been Murphy.
For whatever reason, and that would be very fitting of Matt Murphy. for whatever reason, I can't, just like you know what? I'm beginning to think it's me, where I just cannot get anybody to play with me. Like I've had not one, but two people that have offered to, sort of private train me, and both have ghosted me.
Oh, wow.
Is it me?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just curious. Is it me?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they don't want to be seen with you with that sissy-looking paddle you got.
Oh, shut up, Jay. I got a 4-word question. Is it me? Totally kidding. 5:52, Nashville's Morning News on WTN. The Wellness Institute of Nashville. Listen, if it was years ago, I wouldn't be playing pickleball because I was suffering from chronic back and neck pain. Welcome into the Wellness Institute of Nashville, though. If you have chronic back, neck, or knee pain, he fixed me right up. He can fix you up as well. So you've got to listen to this great deal from Dr. Kevin Mitchell. Your first exam, x-rays, and treatment, just $23 right now when you call this phone number, 615-246-5009. They specialize in spinal decompression therapy for your chronic back and knee pain. That is exactly what helped me years ago, and this is what can help you as well. And again, don't forget, he can also help you with your knee pain as well. And I still go for the occasional tune-up. It absolutely does work. And I do go to his brand new office in Mount Juliet. It is amazing. So check him out today. If you want help with your chronic back, neck, or knee pain, the Wellness Institute of Nashville, you mention my name, you get another 10% off your rehab. 615-246-5009, painisbad.com.
More unrest in Israel, and Oregon firefighters facing a challenging wildfire. And we'll also have this morning's money news. Those stories and more at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5:57. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House of Representatives, has now uttered the I word, impeachment, in regards to President Joe Biden. We've got all the latest there. Also, we have Metro's police department being sued by a Memphis cop. Fascinating story straight ahead. And also very big news regarding the woman we talked about yesterday who was fired by Lowe's in Georgia for trying to stop shoplifters. Big news there as well. It's all straight ahead. Busy morning on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.